Ooh, we are live. You know what time it is? Shark Bite! Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here. Class is now in session with this special live stream. Yeah, and that right there, that was a little something. I don't know any of y'all. I don't know who all has heard of this guy, but if you hadn't, Big Groove. That's what he calls himself on TikTok, Facebook, and even YouTube. I see him more on Facebook and TikTok there, but he does have a YouTube page. Um, but he always goes around to different restaurants and stuff like that, kind of across the not just not just local. I don't know where he's not sure where he's from, but he goes to different ones and like different even outside the USA, like Mexico and stuff like that, just to try the food at the different restaurants. Kind of promotes them a little bit. It's sort of his little. It's I guess kind of a little business for him. They I guess they probably call him over to have some of their food in order to advertise the place there. And yeah, I mean, you see somebody like that eating the way he does. Yeah, you're probably gonna want to check out that place. Like, man, this must be some good food. So yeah, oh boy. So yeah, that's what he does, and he also does Johnny Bravo impersonations. He's the guy in that live action Johnny Bravo music video made the second one there. So yeah, he's got quite a bit going for him there, which is one reason why I was on Facebook. I was not too happy when people were saying that he was an embarrassment. I'm like, hey, the guy's making a living off of what he's doing, and he's got passion with it. I mean, and then it's not like he's doing anything negative. I mean, his business is probably helping several other businesses of of the places that he be going to. So I mean, yeah, I mean, how is that embarrassing? I mean, hey, you got when you get something that you like to do. I mean, and especially it's something positive too. Yeah, go for it. Like I say, just like with me with writing my books there, and also doing what I do here on YouTube, which aligns with the books and also a few other things there. Yeah, I put, yep, and then of course EJ the Supreme. He does what he does because he has a passion with it. So yeah, do it. So don't be don't waste your time trying to belittle other folks for their passion is, and it's something positive too. Mm. Uh, yeah. So anyway, uh, sorry about that little rant there. That was kind of recent. Also kind of recent, which ties in with the live stream today. Originally, I was going to do the Heroes of Dream books. I was going to start that. Originally, I was going to start that Tuesday, but I had to do a closing shift, so I didn't get to do it. I put a premiere up. Reason why I'm doing something different tonight and postponing Heroes of Dreams is because of all the graduation talk. Yeah. Um, let's just say. Yesterday at work, because I work produce on my day job. We're not we have the floral shop is pretty much kind of right there near the produce shop. I mean, probably the produce department. They're pretty much intersecting with each other. So sometimes we do a few things to help the floral department out. I mean, we're not floral experts or anything, but like maybe like hey, might help with a balloon blow or something like that. Well, let's just say there's been a lot of customers that's been wanting graduation balloons. Oh boy, as well as also extra latex balloons to sort of spice it up a little bit there for their graduates. So that's why we're talking about what we're talking about today with school and graduation. Yeah, so that's why I was like, hey. why don't I jump on the bandwagon and just talk about that, talk, and that will open the door for me to talk about my school life as well as graduation. So, and also give some encouragement to you know, not only just people that are graduating, like I say, you, any of y'all that's graduating, especially ones from high school, you about to go out there in the world and spread your oats, find yourself, because some people, when they graduate, some people have an ideal of what they want to do from like the very beginning when they're before they even get out of school. That's cool. Um, and then sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just focused with school, and then they graduate, and then it's like, yeah, what do I want to do with my life? Yeah, still cool. Got some, it's different with everybody. Sometimes you might think, sometimes you actually know what it is you want to do, but then you graduate and, you might change your mind. Maybe something has really sparked your interest even more so than what you thought you were, than what you were thinking at first. Yeah, that does happen, because I'm like I say, um, as some people say, career changes do occur. So like I say, it's all in what your interests goes into. Um, so so that but yeah, like I say, if you're in that position, you're going out to venture into what you want to do with your life. Yeah, like I say, put God first. Make sure you know what you're doing is is positive and in line with His work. And it's a in line with God. Then make sure you ain't going out there doing something you ain't got no business doing. So yeah, just do. And just say if you got that down, yeah, definitely do that. Say if you hadn't got to that point, you're still in school, and you're still and summer break, and you're gonna start back to school again. Hey, just keep going at it there. Don't give up, because one thing I know from going through school myself, yeah, it is a don't. I'm not saying that school is a terrible place, but it does have a lot, and there's a lot of good stuff. I'm about to go into that. There's a lot of good stuff in school. Uh, all depends on especially it's different for everybody, but yeah, you can get a lot of good memories. But like it is going to be some times where it's not going to be so good. It's going to get hard. And and I'm about to explain that as well there. And pretty much like life in general. You have ups and downs in life. Even outside school aside, just dealing with life. Whether you're a kid or a teenager or an adult, life is just gonna be that way. But that's the thing. Don't say if you're striving for something, don't strive for something. Do not give up on it. Yeah, that's all the more reason why it's important to put God first. That and if you put God first, then you'll know for sure if what you're doing is the right thing. And if it's the right thing, then yeah, he's gonna help you get through it. Because one thing about it, he's not gonna have you doing the wrong thing. That's for sure. So if you got God, or he's gonna lead you right. Yeah, you don't have to worry about whether you're going the right way or not. So, whew, hey, I will be so glad when I finally get this new air conditioning. I sure it say I just put in an order for some new air conditioners there. It's supposed to come in because the ones we the ones we got they've been here for a while. Not sure exactly how long, but I do because I remember. Um, I would say it's been a pretty good while. Like I say, I remember some of my folks came and helped me get them set up and everything after I, got them from Walmart. Because they, matter of fact, had like, well, hey, Gabe, this is the air conditioning you should get. So went and got it, and met back up here and helped set it up. But they've been in here a while, and yeah, one of one of them they actually do work, but the problem is one of them had a knob come out, so I can't turn it. It's actually like it's running right now, but it's stuck on low because I the knob that puts it on like low and high. I can't turn it, so yeah, it's stuck on actually stuck on high fan. So yeah, it's a little cool, but not. Yeah, it could be cooler. So that's one reason it or and the other one they had two of them. The second one can come on and everything, but it's the filters and kind of broke the filter in there. I could get a new filter and everything, but yeah, the way it is in there, it's not too promising. It's no guarantee that the other one would break too. And then there's one thing about it: when you had something for a while, yeah, it is gonna break down after so long. Now, just like like a car or something like that. So yeah, when it gets to that point, sometimes it is just better just to get a new one. Because when it starts breaking down, yeah, you're going to be constantly getting stuff for it, trying to go that route, as opposed to just getting a brand new one. And at least with the brand new one, I can sort of evolve a little bit with the air conditioner too. So, sort of, have something updated there. So, yeah. So, yeah. But, um, but like I say, just like I say, that's another example of sometimes being rough in life. But thank God we, but doing what we do, put our trust in Him. That He helped meet us halfway and make it where we could be able to get new stuff. Yeah, it's a pain. It is a pain having to like, oh, I gotta get new this, gotta get new that, get. But at least you have. But if you got what you need to get the new stuff, hey, you're doing good. It may be a little irritating, but at least you get. But hey, at least you're in a position to do it there. So like I say, and like the strawberry letter, it could be worse. So uh, thank God it isn't worse. and 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 I do that. It'll, like I say, be a couple of weeks, but at least they'll be here before June gets here. Cause when June, July, and all that, it's gonna be hot in here. Gonna be doing like this. Ooh. Hey man, like listen to the preacher in the church, and they had the little fan themselves. Hey man. Ooh. There's that there. And one other thing I wanted to let you guys know before we go into today's topic, and kind of a little time for people to get in here. Um, I've actually I probably announced this before, but if you didn't, it just in, which I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case because like I say, so much happens there. But just in case, like say I did, and maybe you didn't see the video where I did, or maybe forgotten about it there, because that happens. We forget things, but and the old noggin. So sometimes that big head forget stuff. so anyway, I got I've actually completed. I've actually sent in to register in this play festival. Miss Sherry Gray. We've been Has been sending emails back and forth. Has been kind of explaining to me about um, different things about it there, and like when it's going to be and everything. Like I said, I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil everything there. Kind of, share as it goes along. Like I told y'all about Joseph and the dreams. God didn't reveal everything to Joseph right at once about, hey, people gonna bow down to you. Nah. I'm just gonna tell you that much. You're gonna have to find out how it's gonna happen. So, yeah, no spoilers. So, but what I can tell you, yeah, it's um definitely gonna do it. Like I say, it's gonna be a little bit of a process. So, each I think there's like due dates for different things. So yeah, I would definitely step by step. We're gonna work my way into getting a 10-minute play as part of this festival. The play, what I'm actually submitting for it is Brownie's rescue mission to Uranus. It's actually my story that I submitted to the Disney writing contest that I mentioned in a previous stream. This was also briefly mentioned in the first Yumiko novel by Hiko. However, um, my plans for Yumiko novel number 4, I hadn't started writing it yet. Got some other things going. But when I start writing Yumiko 4, my plan is sort of an extended version of the rescue mission to Uranus, in addition with Brownie's beginning at the Fire Academy to where he becomes the firefighter that he is, as well as also the city hero with his, the very first mission, which is the trip to Uranus. So, yeah, that's gonna. But yeah, I guess this play will be sort of like a um, somewhat, you could say, a sneak preview of it there. Um, More like like the film, like in the film, like when they have film festivals. I think I mentioned once before about Digimon. That's how they got started. They started with a film festival that with the heightened Buterin story that's mentioned in the Digimon series. That was actually I think like a 20 or maybe 25-minute short film that was at the film festival in Japan somewhere. And once when that film was, got its recognition and everything, we got the Digimon series. So yeah, just sort of like that. Yep. So, like I said, got to start somewhere. Of course, of course, like I say, this is a play festival, which that still works. I mean, like I say, as far as the details of how everything exactly is going to go, yeah, I'll be figuring it out as it goes along. Like I say, she did explain a few things to me, right at the start. So yeah, kind of let it play through. One thing about it, yes, just taking a chance with it, and see where it goes and everything. And like I say, God be with me, and let pray this takes my books to the next level. Um, so yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing there. That's what's gonna be kind of working on that. Um, Also, gonna try to get Christina's rough draft for her first Bubblita novel proofread there. So eventually you can have the first Bubblita novel out. And then of course, uh, yeah, if good Lord say the same, for EJ's birthday, probably be a little belated, because of how things are on my day job, but we are gonna do it. Um, the original plan was to go see Superman the weekend that it premiered, right after the 4th of July, the very weekend it premiered, and come back and review it. We're still gonna do it, but it's not gonna. It's gonna be. Let's see. Let me bring up the date. Because I got the date written down. It was because, like I said, I remember I was talking with my boss about this. There, he was because he had a vacation and stuff like that. So we was. I had to say it was. but he was trying to work things out there. Okay, July. Okay, so it's gonna be because I go. Okay, so I had to move. Um, so one of my vacations is gonna be July 20th through the 26th from my day job. So the 18th and the 9th. I think I want to say the 19th night. That Saturday, right before my vacation, July the 19th, um, is when we are going to try to go see Superman movie, and I know it's going to be a little. That's going to be about a week or two after the premiere, but it's still going to be there. All of us, just like when we went to see Captain America, and the plan this time is to do the review on the EJS channel this time for his birthday, sort of a belated birthday, but yeah, we'll and say kind of did there. Try to try to put a little something together to kind of treat all of us there, including the birthday boy here. So try to and to say try to have some special little celebration with his birthday and the Superman. So we're gonna we're gonna have it fixed up. Yeah, we're gonna matter of fact, it's gonna be even better than the Captain America review. So yes, but it'll probably be on the EJS channel though. So that's all that's coming up. Um, so now let's get into what we're here to, what the live stream will be about. School days and graduation. Yes, preferably my school life. Yeah. Um, so of course, I actually started out in preschool. I would start out with daycare. I guess you kind of could consider that as school, kind of, but there's not really much to that there. But I do. But yes, preschool. Yeah, I remember first day at preschool. I when I was dropped off there. Mama got me checked in, everything. Spoke with the teacher. All that stuff. Signs. How to sign your student in, all sign your kid in, stuff like that. Yada yada yada. Then I said, okay, Gabe, now I'm gonna say I'll be back at the end of the day. And the minute she left, I broke out crying and it was like, Mama, Mama, and yeah, and according to what I heard, looking, back on the court, I think what was said there, obviously I guess obviously had to calm down at some point there, and went to playing with the other kids and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty much went through preschool life. They not not really much in that department there. Just playing around. Also to our one who's our viewer here there. Definitely make sure you give a like while you're here. Yeah, man. Yeah, hit that like button there, so YouTube can know that the school days are in. So they can know, just like EJB saying on his channel, YouTube can know we doing our thing. Yeah, so so yeah, not much with preschool life there. Kid, then I know the name of the school I started at was East 81st Street. Yeah, 81st Street. That's where I started preschool. Matter of fact, I was right down the street from where my mom's school was. She was a teacher at Fairfield. She's retired from it now, but yeah, she's been the school she's been teaching at is Fairfield Elementary before she retired from it. She did briefly teach at South Highlands a little bit, which is actually the elementary school I went to. But she taught, but it was before I started South Howland when she taught because it was, I'm not sure how long it was, but it was like a short, very short while. Um, Possibly, I think maybe it was like student teaching there or something like that. But yeah, but then she became officially an official teacher at Fairfield. Um, she taught like think she's taught like different grades, like kindergarten, fifth graders. She's also taught special education there. That's like with different people with different kids with special needs there. And the last grade that I definitely remember her teaching was, of course, first grade. I think that was the grade that she was in pretty much the rest of her teaching career up to her retirement there. But she did start out with some other grades before they put her there. So, but yeah, her school Fairfield was right down the street from 81st Street. Um, and also it was and matter of fact, it was right in the middle of eight, like Fairfield's right here in the middle, 81st Street, and on the other side, South Howland. So like a seesaw there. So yeah, not really. Again, like I say, one thing I remember, we had a Thanksgiving play where I had to play a turkey, because it's in one of my books that I wrote for a class later on. Um, then after 81st Street, I started kindergarten at a private school. So I didn't come to South Howland at the very beginning of elementary. I started first kindergarten to first grade. I was at Central Free Methodist School, which was a private school also. And like I say again, it's a keyword. They had Methodist school. They had a chapel there. So yeah, they sort of like what you would call now, because they got others. I know there are schools out there like Christian Academy, stuff like that there. So it's sort of like that, but like I say, Methodist school. But like I say, hey, if you're a believer in Christ, that would be the main important thing, despite even more so important than the denomination. So, like I say, Baptist, Methodist, Catholic. Hey, if you believe that Christ is your Lord and Savior, that's the most important thing. And thus say the Lord. Um, so yeah, Central Methodist School. It was some interesting times there. I definitely remember. I remember there was some about some of the students there. There was one girl there that her parents. I had she literally told the rest of us. I don't know exactly if this was true or not. Could have been. If it was, oh my gosh. But she said that her parents would spank her if she came home with a B. Okay, really? 'Cause, mm, yeah, yeah, that is kind of a bit much there. But really, I mean, a B is actually still good. Especially you're working hard at trying to make your grades and stuff. Hey, some cases you may not get all A's, you get a few B's. Some cases maybe a C or two, but I mean, if you're doing the best you can, yeah, that's now, yeah, now of course D's and F's obviously would be bad, but I don't think that would be, yeah, that's not exactly something you would spank a child over. That'd be more of something, okay, we need to get, figure out what's going on, maybe what is this, maybe your child's not understanding something in the work that's being assigned to them, or find just first find out what's going on, and then try to work with the child to get them back on track and everything. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that's what she told us there. Um, yeah, and I actually remember having a birthday party in both grades up there, kindergarten and first grade. I actually had a celebrated my birthday in right there in class. Yeah. So um and we did have uniforms. Yeah, so that was the first time that I ever wore a uniform was at that school. Um, I actually took a speech class there. I don't remember much about the speech class, but I remember, but I do remember the speech class I took after I left Central Free Methodist. We'll get to that. But yeah, the speech class. It was a very interesting computer class we had there. Very hard to describe, but yeah, the computers were it. It was like some real old computers there. This back in the '90s and stuff. So yeah, this is um, very old there. Um, and ironically, the same year I started kindergarten was right after I had got baptized at my church, New Bethlehem. So, yep. And then, like I said, I definitely remember now they do have graduations from kindergarten to the first grade. Yep, they do have that. Um, yeah, and you guys pretty, pretty much the most I remember from that segment of my school life. So second grade went to South Howlands public. This was now officially my first time in public school, as far as just like regular grade school, not the preschool, but just regular grade school. Um, and not I'm not completely sure why I was transferred from Central Free to South Howland. Not saying that it, not. I mean, yeah, South Howland was real good there. I'm not saying that I didn't like it enough, but I'm not sure what the reasons were behind, why I was, after first grade I went over to South Howland to start second grade. Um, Only thing I can assume, this is just an assumption, might have to do something with like expenses. They could, private schools do cost more than public school. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, that is a and I that's one thing when we get our first kid there. I really pray and trust that that we be able to pick the right school, especially public expenses wise too. Is world. I saw something in there. It was okay. So anyway, uh, but yeah, hopefully, yeah, when we get our first child, we'll be able to pick out the best school there, and things go. Oh, that's my camera. Yeah, my camera was my video camera was charging now. Yeah, while I had my laptop on, it charges a lot better in my laptop than it does in the wall jack there for some reason. So go figure. And I also got to. It still does work, but I got to get another rechargeable battery for it before so it don't get to where it doesn't hold a charge anymore. So, yeah, that's one thing about these type about anything that has a rechargeable battery like video cameras or something. I think like after 2 years or something like that, yeah, you have to change the battery. Sort of like Cyborg from Teen Titans there. So, because they get to a point where they don't hold a charge anymore. So there's that. Anyway, so with South Howlands, yeah. Now this is probably the golden moment of my school life. One of which, um, so starting in the second grade, I definitely I definitely remember having some crushes in South Howlands. Hmm. Yeah, which I've had crushes ever since I was like 5 years old. But yeah, as far as at school though, yeah, I definitely at the school, I definitely remember. And yeah, if y'all see me kind of looking around, like y'all like, what does he keep looking at there? Um, like I just stated, I something was kind of flying around the room there, and so I'm just I'm just kind of keeping an eye, making sure. I'm hoping. I hope it's not no mosquito or nothing there, but if it's but just making sure it don't go all up my face or something like even if it's not a mosquito, hope it's not. But yeah, but still don't want it all up in my face though. Like, hey, get my face. So yeah, so yeah, just letting y'all know if y'all see me doing that. Yeah, that's why I keep looking. That's why as they like they do in the TV shows, and all of a sudden they just look off into space or something. Sort of funny joke about that episode when Nostalgia Critic was talking about Doug. He said he did a joke where Skeeter was like, "Hey Doug, what do you think about the video?" Doug, I hate when you do this. Why do you go where I can't follow? So anyway, okay, so anyway, with the beginning of South Howard, yeah, like I say, had some crushes there, specifically at the school. Um, I'm just gonna go. I'm only gonna mention first names. I'm not gonna mention the full name. There was one girl. There was a girl named Hannah. I had a crush on there. She was really cool. Uh, that she was a really cool friend though. Um, I'm not sure if I told her I had a crush on her back then or anything like that. I mean, of course, even if I did, I don't think nothing much would happen because I mean we're little kids, so I mean what? Now I don't I don't in reality I don't. I mean, it could be possible, but I have not seen a lot of cases of elementary kids like going on dates or anything. Because I mean, for one thing, we can't even drive at that age. So, but anyway, but yeah, but she was real cool with me. She, matter of fact, she would when we she would her and she had kind of a little group of friends with her, sort of her own little clique. You know how everybody got their own little group and everything, and quite obviously, since she was cool with me, she's like, "Hey, Gabe, come on, hey, Gabe, you want to sit with us?" So, pretty much was and it's a lot of time in second grade, you would see me tagging along with them and everything, pretty much just hanging out and stuff. Um, funny thing is one of her friends, Susie, actually had a crush on me. So this sort of created a bit of a love triangle. Oh my. And it's just the fact. It's like I say, even like I say, I'm guilty of it too. But for some reason, us guys, myself included, I don't know what it is. It's like there's always a girl that we like and have a crush on, and not saying all the time, but sometimes the girl may not even be interested in us, but we're like, hi, oh, she wants me, like Shazam said about Wonder Woman, she digs me. So yeah, for some reason we're like that, and then somewhere nearby there's a girl that is looking at us like, hi, and and we don't notice them, or either we notice them but we don't catch on to the fact that, hey, that girl likes me. Yeah, sort of like Phineas and Ferb, how he didn't catch on to the fact that Isabella liked him. Yeah, but I don't know why we just are for some reason. Yeah, it's like Medea said the difference between guys and girls, um, or women and men. Say women think, mm, mm, yeah, and men think what? What? Yeah, And the thing is, you can't really, yeah, you can't really argue with that statement. It's kind of true. So yeah, can't really argue with her on that there. Even if even if she was saying it as a joke, it's kind of a comedy of truth there. So yeah, like I say, don't get mad at me, fellas. 'Cause like I say, I even yeah, I'm a part of this too. So yeah, just saying, I'm a guy too, so I'm just as guilty as the rest of y'all. So yeah, just confessing. So yeah, that like I say, like hung out and say, so yeah, Hannah was really cool. Then like I say, Susie was kind of like it on me there. Um, then let's see, we did quite a few interesting things in second grade. Um, I remember we actually made I think it was a Coca Cola, excuse me, Coca Cola floats, sort of like a root beer float, but with Coke, but like with with ice cream stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I made a Coca Cola float there one time in the cafeteria. Um, then there was this wacky kind of it's kind of wacky but interesting. It was, and I remember it was during the time of the Red Rebel that we have here in Shreveport. I think Red Rebel or Art Break, one of those. Because I do remember going downtown for one for these events back then. Um, so we during one of those events, I remember while we was in class before the weekend. Um, when I was me and Hannah and her friends, uh, suddenly out of nowhere, we was at recess. It was like, hey, y'all want to go to Bethlehem this weekend? Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, and I was like, okay, yeah, we could meet up at the Red Rebel and go then. Okay, cool. Now, of course, that never happened in reality. So, but I guess in our minds, we were thinking like, I guess if you were to go by our way of thinking, you would have thought Bethlehem was like right down the street somewhere. Yeah, that's about a few thousand miles away from here. So I'm pretty sure y'all be back before dinner. So yeah, okay, yeah, okay, kids, y'all have fun in Bethlehem. Don't be late for dinner. We got tuna casserole on the oven. Oh my goodness. Well, we literally was thinking of doing that. So about as wacky as me and one of my friends in the neighborhood building a cardboard plane and wanted to make it run off of his dad's truck motor. Oh boy. He literally was thinking of getting his dad's truck motor to put in the cardboard plane. So not sure how that would have worked out. But I know we would have gotten a lot of trouble if we actually tried to do that though. Yeah. So that was that. Phew, oh boy. So of course, let's see. Of course, also in second grade, we did. I think I mentioned in a previous stream about my theater performances. That we did a play called Cinder Rabbit, where it was like Cinderella but with rabbits, and was so yeah, pretty much like that. Yeah, a rabbit version of Cinderella. All of us were dressed like rabbits and stuff there. It's pretty fun there. I think I may have more detail in that stream there. Um, then we go into third grade. Ooh, third grade. That's oh yeah. And also I forgot to mention about my speech class. I think now I'm not sure how long I took speech class, but I do remember that I did because I was already taking speech class back at Central Free Methodist School. I immediately was taking it when I started at South Howland again. but of course under a different teacher. But yeah, one thing I did remember that was really annoying about this teacher, he always wanted me to, yeah, she was always on my case about, certain words I pronounce, especially the. And I'm like, okay, so, okay, Gabe, read this sentence. Okay. Brownie the dog's trouble alert went up. No, Brownie the dog. Brownie the dog's trouble. Brownie the dog. Like, you stick your tongue out at me one more time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stand a distance on your tongue and all that spit coming in my face. Ooh, boy, and I thought Mike. Well, it almost made me think of Mike Epps with his teacher, uh, Mike comedian Mike. He said he was in special ed, and it's like, wait, the school bell don't dismiss us. Now this bell right here on my desk, ding 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 ding. Matter of fact, oh yeah. Okay. Nah, this little bell right here. Ding 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 ding. So, and talking about I'm in the 12th grade and I can't even switch classes there. I'm stuck in this one class all day. Like I'm back in elementary again or something. And even in elementary, we didn't switch class. We were still in the same class, but we got to travel to different classrooms, like for art and music and stuff like that. We had enrichment classes and stuff like that. And it's a teacher in the 12th grade, teacher tells you to take a nap. Now you take a nap. So, you take. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, and now he gets paid as a comedian to talk about his experiences. So yeah, at least that worked out for him. So also, yeah, we did have enrichments in school there, music, art class, and I think, okay, yes, drama class, yes, because that's how we did the plays and stuff. Um, and also we had French class. So the French class actually came to our main classroom. Had a French teacher and everything. Yeah, and like I say, nothing against the French class there, but I did not do so well in it there. Yeah, I was probably kind of weak in learning in there, and then also it probably also has to do with my ADHD too. Probably really wasn't paying much attention to that. Like, Gabe, bonjour, bonjour to you. So, um, only best thing I probably remember about French class was watching the French version of the Aristocats. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably the best thing I remember that. And also one thing about art class that was yeah there was one thing that the teacher said to me specifically, as far as about listening and stuff. She said, your last name is Johnson, right? I said, yes, ma'am. It's like, well, I mean, you really need to listen, because if you don't listen, then you know what you're gonna be instead of a Johnson. You're gonna be a Smith. Smiths don't listen, but Johnsons listen. Okay. Not sure how to feel about that comment there. Okay. Mm, so anyway, going on to the third grade. Yeah. So third grade, this is where, okay, we still had like our enrichments and stuff like that. This is also where I started string class. Yeah. So we had with the violin and everything. And so I know I was already taking piano classes outside of school there from EJ, from remember EJ the Supreme, from his mother. She was also she was we were going to her for piano class after school and everything. But at school, when I started third grade, we started taking string class there. Um, that string class, and I want to say that, and I also took strings in the fourth grade too. I remember. I want to say because I also remember we had like a concert that we went to perform in Alexandra, and this would not be the first time I'd be in a concert or anything like that. But yeah, we it was a string concert. It was one thing I definitely remember in the string class that was really crazy. That I for some reason I got in trouble. Um, me and another kid we were talking to each other. I think it was either one of two things. One subject we was talking about. I was telling them about these Lego blocks I had were off-brand Lego blocks called Mega Blocks, and how I had built five blockheads and then would combine them into one mighty robot, sort of a reference to Voltron. But instead of calling it Voltron, I called him Headtron, made of five mighty heads. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, yeah, five mighty blockheads there. And then another subject we were talking about was from Star Tropics 2 about this Egyptian Sphinx head that would in chapter 3 of the game that was real difficult to defeat. And so one of those topics, I'm not sure which one it was, but it was one of those topics, and the teacher for some reason got on my case and told me to stand outside the class. I was like, what did I do? Go stand outside. Like, what did I do? So that's the only thing I remember. That was it was one of those subjects. So I don't know if maybe she thought I was talking about something erotic or something. I maybe I say maybe if it was the Headtron thing, maybe she thought I was talking about like literal human heads or something. And I don't. Yeah, I mean, as Principal Brandon said on YouTube, he reacts to SpongeBob episodes, as he would say, he said I can understand that being a teacher being concerned about that, and maybe because they're not, maybe they don't fully understand what the student is talking about. But yeah, why not at least act like, hey, well, you what as like, excuse me, what exactly are you talking about there? I mean, I would at least if I was in the teacher's position, I would have at least, at least pulled the student to the side or something, or maybe, question, or maybe like after class, like, hey, can I see you for a second? And maybe just question, just ask them about it there, because yeah, as say, find out what's going on before you deliver the punishment there. That's all I'm saying there. As Spider-Man said to the Punisher in an episode of the Spider-Man animated series, next time, get the facts before you decide to punish someone. So, yeah. No. Also in the third grade, I had a I had a crush on another girl. This girl was named Mia, and unlike Hannah, who was cool with me and everything, and like, hey, Gabe, want to hang out? Mia was not exactly like this. There, Mia, she, yeah, she was not having it. She was not having that at all. And I remember back then, you know how Pepe Le Pew would be chasing after that little black cat there, thinking that she was a skunk too. Oh, my darling. Oh, listen, look at it. Oh, this is sweet. More French dialogue. Yeah. So now, of course, I never did catch her to do all of that there, but yeah, I was I literally was chasing after her at recess during the third grade, which did get me in trouble a few times. Just like it, yeah. So yeah, like I said, yeah, yeah, like I say, teacher, they out there watching you at recess. So yeah, like, hey, what's going on here? Well, y'all, the game is bothered. Game keep chasing me. I told him to stop. Oh, yeah, there was that. There, yeah. Um, there was one moment, like I say, where I actually did get to kind of be near Mia, and it wasn't like super weird or anything. We was I was asked to carry something to another classroom, and I actually it was like, well, Gabe, this is gonna take two people here. So who do you want to so which one so who you want to help you carry this? And I chose Mia, and we actually, and yeah, she was, and that was the one time that she was actually just cool. She wasn't at least to my face. I don't know how she may have been feeling on the inside there or anything like that. Cause I can't read minds, but in my presence, yeah, she seemed like she was cool. Like, okay, I'll help you, Gabe. I may be smiling, but you don't know what I'm feeling on the inside. Like almost like Uncle Phil when he be scaring folks in the Fresh Print. So yeah, like I said, so there was that there. I think we did a play in the third grade. I'm not sure what the play was for the third grade. That's the only one I can't remember. If we did one in third grade, that's the only one I can't remember what what it was there. Yeah, because I said, and then the reason I think we did because I saw pictures on my South Howland VHS memory video of what looked like dressed up in some costumes for the play. Oh wait, actually no, think I want to say I think it's the fourth grade where I'm not sure what because I think third grade the play we did was the Runaway Unicorn. That's what I want to say. If it's not, then it was in the fourth grade. But yeah, either third or fourth grade, we did the play called The Runaway Unicorn, which involved we had people dressed up from different fairy tales, like Three Little Bears, Three Little Pigs, Cinderella, all different types of fairy tales. But there was this one unicorn who didn't seem to fit in, and she had went missing, and everybody was looking for her. And thus, the play was called The Runaway Unicorn. So yeah, so that was that. And I think what else I can remember. I do remember, you remember how I mentioned about my ADHD and everything. Yeah, it was. Let's just say, yeah, it was. I'm not saying I did terrible in school in the third grade, but there were moments where I had grade slippage there. So between my mom and the teachers, they kind of came up with ways to kind of keep me on track, to keep my focus up and everything. One of which was, hey, if you don't do what you're supposed to do and bring home good grades, you ain't gonna be able to play with your Power Ranger figures there. So yeah, now see, and like I say, yeah, obviously, ain't no kid is gonna like having their toys taken away from them, but that actually is a very fair, effective thing, and even related with grades, like I say, um, because you want I'm all for encouraging your kids to do better in school, but sometimes if you want to if you really trying to push them, but you don't want to overdo it, and to the point where you don't want to overdo it though. This is probably the best, because this was really effective with me. um, yeah, privileges. If certain privileges are taken away, this would yeah, it could yeah, because then like, okay, I need to get myself together because I don't want my toys taken away. So, or I want to be able to play with my toys or watch, my favorite TV show or something like that, especially back then. So, yeah, that was yeah, that is a actual effective method that doesn't go over the edge. Like a lot of cases, like I mentioned earlier, with this girl Olivia, talking about if I bring home a B, my parents are gonna whoop me. Like, yeah, that's a bit extreme there. So yeah, so yeah, there was that. Fourth grade, I definitely remember. Um, I got remember. Okay, so we had Hannah and Mia. Fourth grade, I kind of still was on Mia for a short while, but what made me lose interest in Mia, I had a nightmare of her, and in the nightmare, um, I think she had tackled me down the steps at school. In the dream, not in reality. In the dream, she tackled me down the steps, and you know how like Nala and Simba in Lion King, how they were playing Pina, and Nala was on top of Simba, Pina again. Well, um, what happened? She was on top of me in the dream, and she just opened her mouth like, and her breath smelled like stinking Cheetos. I was like, oh, oh my god! And I couldn't get up because she got me pinned down. And like, oh, no! So ever since then, I never chased her again. There, but then there was a new girl that I took an interest in. Name was name was Brittany. Oh boy! Yeah, name was Brittany, and oh boy. Yeah, now of course she didn't run like Mia did, but looking back on it, I'm probably yeah, I think because like I say, I wasn't exactly a normal kid. Let's face it, I'm pretty abnormal. Some of y'all probably could tell that, but yeah, but yeah, but growing up, especially growing up like that as a kid, like me, not being the normal one, yeah, it does have its disadvantages, and yeah, it shows in how some kids, not all kids, but some kids react to you. Um, she was, there was a lot of times that um, she didn't always come out and say it, but yeah, but she kind of thinking of, yeah, let's just say some of her reactions like, mm. um, also another thing that probably came across really weird was I had got so into Garfield and Friends at this point during my school life that I was thinking of myself as Gargate, like I was Garfield's cousin, and that kind of came off really weird there, and and there was this one time at the we had a parade at I had in Mardi Gras parade. So we had our own little Mardi Gras parade where we marched around. Where we didn't have, now of course we didn't have like the floats that you stand in and everything. No, we made portable floats that we could carry, and all of us lined up and marched around the school with the floats we made for some of the other students there. I think like the younger student, like the kindergarten, first graders, or something like that. So we marched around for that, and I think also I think it was the parents. I think we were marching off the parents because I remember my granny was there. Um, I'm not sure. don't think my mom was there because, like I say, as I mentioned earlier, my mom was a school teacher too, at elementary. So yeah, probably would not be able to be there. Now there have been some cases where she has taken off to be at certain things, at my school for me at some certain time when she could. And I definitely do remember that elementary, and sometimes even like I may remember sometimes in middle school she may have possibly did that, but I do know there were a few times in high school that she sat in, like so I think like having a parent student moment there, sort of like when like the reverse effect of take your kid to work day. I guess in this case, take your parent to school day. Uh, so yeah, I do, but I do remember. I know my granny was there to see the float I made and everything. I remember I was right behind. I got right behind Brittany, and this as Squid was saying, Squidville, this was the final straw. After the parade was over, Brittany just told me off. So like, Gabe, stop following me. And I actually stopped following her. Okay. Okay. So I actually did stop, Yes, that's all. So yeah. There were a few times I still did try to talk to her, but yeah, like I said, I didn't just, follow her like that. Like it was, yeah, I tried, you know, not trying, not to be so weird about it there, to the point where it was like, so yeah, it was, things kind of, yeah, like, it's almost like when you're dating somebody and then all of a sudden you break up with them, but you're still friends and you're like, hey, how you doing? Like, doing fine. Oh yeah, everything going. Yeah, got me a new boyfriend. Oh really? What's he like? Yeah. So almost like that there. That's what it kind of felt like that moment, even though we never really dated or anything. So I'm just, but yeah, kind of that feeling there. So yeah, that was that. I do remember having a birthday party in the fourth grade in my classroom. Uh, yep. Also, another thing I do remember, a lot of time when it was raining and we couldn't go outside for recess to play on the playground, we did have indoor recess. They had games for us to play and stuff like that. Especially, I definitely remember a lot of them in the fourth grade. Had like it wasn't Gator Golf, but we had this Gator that had like you could pull the gator teeth out or something like that. There was also Chinese checkers. I love playing that there back then, but it's been so long since I played it. I would have to kind of relook at the rules there, but when I played it back then, I did remember how it was played. I think the reason I got hooked on Chinese checkers back then was because of an episode of Hey Arnold when his grandpa played Chinese checkers there. I remember that episode. I'm still catching up with the Hey Arnold episodes on Ice Band Universe's channel. So I did notice he's gotten to the Steely Field episode. I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to get to that. So far, I'm up to the episode where Lila's been introduced. So yeah, just let you know in case you're watching Iceman. There, I'm catching up on Hey Arnold reactions there. Oh yeah, Lila episode. Oh boy, that was a tearjerker. Yeah. So um, so yeah, we had like I say, it was a lot of good little indoor activities that we did when it was raining and stuff like that with the Chinese checkers. I also found out that one of my classmates in the fourth grade um was one of my classmates. His dad actually I that his dad was in the same worked at the same hospital that I was born at. And matter of fact, Scott is I mean yeah that's his name, the kid's name. He was born. I was born on April 31st. He was born on April 1st. Oh, I think we know where that'll go. Anywho, so yeah, that was yeah a little something I found out there. Um, I think we did do this in the other classes, but I remember more of it in the fourth grade. Had like we had to do like school journals. Teacher would look at what you wrote and stuff like that. Just sort of freelance writing. There was a I think she was trying, like I say, 'cause, a lot. There was, I remember a few times I put in, because I had an active imagination. I put in stuff like, "Hey, I'm Dick Tracy today," like the detective, or "This is the Mighty Voltron," and Star Trek and stuff like that. Uh, she she tried to Miss our teacher Miss Alice. She was nice there. Um, kind of strict. A lot of the teachers, obviously, discipline, yada yada yada. But I mean, overall, they weren't that. None of them were really bad teachers or anything. Just keeping us in line, stuff like that. Um, sometimes you got to. Sometimes yeah, you get a little rough there, but not not. It wasn't like out like over the top or anything like that. Just to like, hey, get back in line. Yeah, pretty much like that. But not 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 really. It's like yeah, they were still good teachers there. You know, doing pretty much doing their job. Doing what they're supposed to do and stuff like that. Handling things really well. Um, and for the most part, they kept us as a well mannered class there. So um, yeah, like I say, but I do, yeah, definitely writing back and forth my journal entries, uh, and also kind of remember a few times I uh, had this really active imagination of imagining Mega Man following me around. Yeah, so um, then let's see. So then we go into the fifth grade. There, fifth grade had like I say okay, let's see what time it was there. Okay, so fifth grade had I think the teacher I had there had a real big thing with frogs. Um, Again, like I say, I'm not saying that that any of the teachers were bad or anything like that. They did a real good job. They all did good jobs with us and everything. I just think that out of all my teachers, Moss, my fifth grade teacher, was probably the best one. Yeah, just saying, just the way she was there. There again, no me, none of the teachers were mean. I just think Miss Mosswood was the best one. Yeah. Um, but she had a real good thing with frogs. Let's see what else. Yeah, good thing with frogs. I will admit that we had a male teacher up there right across from her. And but when school started, I was actually hoping that I got him just to sort of change it up there and see what it was like. Having a male teacher just once. But that didn't happen. But like I say again, Miss Moss actually, like I say, was my best one out of all the teachers that I did have at elementary. Um, I do remember the play we did there was Peter Pan, of course. Yes, that was the star play out of all the plays done at South Highlands there. Good old Peter Pan. Yeah. I won't grow up. I won't grow up. I don't want to wear a tie. I don't want to wear a tie. And a serious expression. And a serious expression in the middle of July. So, yeah, we had that there. I wanted to be Peter Pan, but I didn't. I got the Lost Boy part, but yeah, considering that I was getting a little chubby back then, see, I didn't really think about that. But yeah, looking at back on it, because I looked at like pictures of me in fourth and fifth grade, I think I actually started getting chubby around the fourth grade, and probably didn't really gear much attention to it until like sixth grade. Yeah, I think that's when I kind of took notice of. But yeah, look at the pictures of me. Yeah, my I was developing chubbiness in the fourth grade there. So obviously, yeah, I was a little chubby in the fifth grade, and mm, yeah, that's probably why because of the stuck of Peter Pan. Peter Pan's costume, yeah, probably would not have done me justice. Some might say, well, why not just have him wear pants? Yeah, but but like I said, he probably wanted to do the authentic look, though. Yeah, yeah. But I do remember I used to would call myself this sounds like a job for Peter Pan, and dressed up in my Lost Boy costume, pretending I was Peter Pan. So, um, and of course, the girl named Tinkerbell. Think I possibly had a slight crush on her or something like that, but she was real nice though. She was very nice, especially in my since I didn't get the part of Peter Pan. She actually signed in my yearbook. Say good luck, your say your Tinkerbell. So yeah, she can. So even though yeah I was lost for yeah she actually thought of me as a Peter Pan there. Um, and was did I have and okay, so was there any other crushes you asked there? Well, not exactly. I think yeah, the one I think Tinkerbell's actress was the only one. Possibly, I'm not completely sure. Uh, but as for any other girls I may have crushed on in fifth grade, um, well, not completely sure again. There was two um, particular girls I hung out with there, but I don't think I actually had like a crush on them or anything like that. If I did, I probably didn't act upon it as much like the previous ones there. So, and I think maybe partly because I was still kind of crushing on Brittany. So yeah, 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 like I said, there was some that I hung out with. Also, this is actually, I think it was may have been fourth grade, but if not, I know fifth grade. When I first met, bring say when I if I bring up the email here, right here. When I first met, say Sherry Gray. Yep, so that's yeah, because like I mentioned before, we did go to school together. Um, And I think, yeah, fourth and fifth grade is what I think. Yeah, because I do remember her hanging around some of the other girls that I hung out with too. Uh, I think I think it was mainly fifth grade, but yeah, she was. I might be wrong. It could be fourth, but yeah. But I do know I had hung out with her at some point there a little bit. Yeah, so there. Let's see. So excuse excuse me. So yeah, so that was let's say that was that. Yeah, please don't come in this house. Man, bug stuff getting on my nerves. Yeah. But anyway, like I say, so yeah, like I say, fifth grade, yeah, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and all that there. Of course, there was the graduation. Uh, like I say, we did after our graduation, we had a pool party. Um, so yeah, it was quite a bit of fun there and everything there. And a lot of us were sad to leave because yeah, and then like I said, a lot of them. except for Sharon, because like I said, because of the play, the theater production, all that. But outside of that, yeah, I have not really seen a lot of my old classmates recently from South Howling. Yeah, we kind of have parted ways there. You know, not on bad terms, none, but sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just, sort of like Yami or Pharaoh or Tim leaving Yuki in the game there. So, um, so then middle school, went to Uri Drive. Sixth grade was actually my best year there, starting out. And when I say my best year, referring to the grades there. Best grades, I made the best grades in sixth grade and everything. I did make a few friends in the sixth grade, but not too many from the start. Think a lot of it because I was, yeah, like I say, I was still, um, yeah, wasn't quite, yeah, because for one thing, I was trying to adapt to how the system was and everything. Because, like I said, it wasn't like, elementary where you stay in one class the whole time. So yeah, wasn't exactly easy to grasp on like connection with a student at the beginning of this and all that. Um, yeah, so there was a few of my South Howland classmates that came over to Uri. I think like two of them, two maybe a few more, but I do remember two of them. Uh, I think so. Um, yeah, and then also that's when I got into Pokemon and stuff like that there. Because elementary was more so Power Rangers. And I actually back then thought that Pokemon and Digimon were actually real, and thought like, hey, I got my Pikachu with me here at school and stuff like that. Yeah, which kind of annoyed some of the kids there. Um, let's see, sixth grade. Then of course seventh grade, I did manage to get somebody. I did manage to start hanging out with somebody. Was a guy named Quintus. We had hung out. Oh, we hung out a lot in the seventh grade, playing Digimon and stuff like that, especially Adventure Two with the new Digivices and stuff like that. Uh, Even came over to my church once there and hung out with me at my house and stuff. Um, a couple of times there. So yeah, it was. So yeah, it was that. I remember speaking of the Digivice and stuff. Remember cause Yuri did not want you having like electronic devices in the class stuff like that. So we put our Digivices on silent and tried to like when we were finished with our work and classwork and stuff, and waiting for everybody else to finish theirs. We tried to sneak and play with the Digivices. And I remember for some this girl named Anna kept looking back, and we would quickly hide them. And Quintus kind of had this look like, "What are you looking at, girl?" So yeah, there was EJ. Okay, so there was that. And trying. Oh, we got another like. Okay, what's up, EJ? EJS in the house, the one EJS, the one and only. Yeah, I just got to middle school now. Just got, yeah. Look, I thought I didn't think it was gonna be this long there. But like I say, I guess I be having quite a bit to say, man. Yeah, I understand, man. Like I say, um, with like I say, I do try to sometimes kind of like like what you're doing with the 1 hour thing there. Uh, but oh, cool, okay, yeah. Uh, but yeah, but just like what your movie says, sometimes sometimes you have to get it all out of you there. So, whew. But yeah, but yeah, I just got to middle school. I was talking about me and my boy Quintus back from seventh grade. Yeah, I was playing with trying to sneak digivices in class. We also would be like passing notes to each other about like Arthur and Garfield, stuff like that. Matter of fact, he imagined Garfield as his Digimon partner. So yeah. Um, Also, there's another thing I forgot to mention about the sixth grade. There, there was this one incident where we was at a pep rally, and I had during the pep rally I was reading one of my Pokemon books, and the teacher came up there and took it away from me, and I did not get that book back until the end of the year. It's like, what? I was like, okay, what? Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're not supposed to. I guess supposed to pay attention to pep rally, but yeah, I guess I was feeling like, well, it's a pep rally. What are you gonna do? Quiz me on this? What do I have to remember what happened in order to take a test on the pep rally or something? I don't know what the deal was with that there. And I think, and I honestly think my science teacher from seventh grade had it out for me there. Because I remember trying, they literally that you know how Bulk and Skull got detention for being late for class? Yeah, they literally would do that at Yuri. I was like, oh my god. But there was a lot. Yeah, she kind of she kind of had it in. He had it in for because there was this one time I really was trying to get to class on time. I had got in the class and just as the bell rang, but I was in the class and I still didn't get attention. And she said because I hadn't got to my seat yet. What? Are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, that was that there, and we also had during the seventh grade we also had this had to take care of eggs, like supposed to pretend like they're your baby and everything. The parenting assignment there. Uh, I did okay with that there, but there was, and this was, I swear it was an accident, but there was a incident where my egg had broke once. Not it was just once, and I had to have a new one because somebody, I think it was a student or something that had bumped into me while I was trying to get something out my locker. Like I say, it was honest. It was an honest accident there, but yeah, yeah. Teacher still marked me off for it there. Ugh. Like I say, science teacher had it in for me in seventh grade. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there was that there, and like I say, and then eighth grade was probably the grade wise probably my worst. So that's when I started off doing kind of decent in eighth grade, but then it was yeah, I think a lot of it. Like I said, I think the science teacher had it for me in seventh grade. Eighth grade, it was the English teacher, and wouldn't you know it, I had to retake English in summer school along with the math portion of this exit exam. Yeah, and so my dreaded summer school. Oh no, I gotta go to summer school. Oh boy. So yeah, like I say, yeah, it was quite a bit of ups and downs in eighth grade there. But I did, like I say, I did have a few friends I hung out with. That just kind of hanging out with one off and on. Um, and of course, summer school. Of course, I met Casey. Excuse me, Big Sis Casey. That's where I first got met up with her, and and then of course, we that kind of helped me get through summer school so I could make it to high school there. So Didn't have a graduation ceremony for eighth grade, but I did advance to ninth grade from passing my summer school classes. Um, then, of course, so ninth grade started off really well, uh, grade wise. Uh, didn't really get off to a good start with the students though in the ninth grade. A lot of I felt like the runt amongst the students in the ninth grade, even the ones that were in ninth grade like me, were really tall. And then there was this one particular student I mentioned in Power Rangers Mega Cards that everybody called Macintosh. Never knew his real name, but they called him Macintosh. And for some reason or another, he always, when he saw me, he would always just try to come after me to beat me up there. I don't know why. Like, what did I say? It's almost like the bully from SpongeBob. Hello, SpongeBob. I'm gonna kick your butt. But I have actually found out from some people that because there's an episode where Flabs was actually appeared in Sandy's rocket, and he was one of the ones that SpongeBob caught thinking he was an alien. So Flabs may have been getting back at SpongeBob for that. So yeah, so there was that. Yeah, it was quite a few bullies I encountered, especially in high school. There got really rough there. Like I say, academic wise, it was okay, but yeah, it wasn't. It was pretty rough with a lot of the students there, especially in my science class in ninth grade. I didn't. My That was the only class where I wasn't doing so well in what grade wise. But I was trying to. I really was trying my hardest there, and because of that, glory be to God, the teacher noticed and actually did try to help me out. Which because of that, I was at least able to get like a few. I may have possibly got a B, but I did at least remember getting a C and pass the class in order to advance to the next grade. Because he really helped me out there. Because like I say, um, yeah, it was kind of a little difficult, but yeah, like I say, and um, also another sign that I was trying was I was taking took quite a few notes there. Like I say, like I say, yeah, it was some effort in there. Um, I also became part of the journalism club during the ninth grade because of a report that I did in my English class, and my English teacher thought it was so good that she shared the report with the journalism teacher, and they came to me and said, "Hey, Gabe, hey, how would you like to be on the journalism club there?" Okay, so yeah, so there was that, and my English teacher, she was real nice there, and also the journalism teacher was real nice there. Matter of fact, her and the English teacher were real good friends with each other. That's that. Yeah, they worked together a lot at the school, even outside the school. Um, and there, let's see, just like my science teacher, I had also signed up for keyboard class, which that was because it was dealing with computers, and I was thinking like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get on the internet and stuff like that." But turns out they had the keyboard cover, and we're supposed to be able to type looking up at the screen without looking down at the keys. I did not quite get that. I was like, "Oh my god!" But like I say, um, she, I think she kind of, yeah, like I gotta hand it. Like I say, ooh, thank God they yeah, she just like the science teacher. um she really seemed she was kind of easygoing. She wasn't, like I say, I think she was probably the most easygoing of the teachers I had in ninth grade. And yeah, she saw that, like, that was but I still tried to. So she was like, okay, Gabe, I get it. I get it. You thought this was something else, and okay, but okay, we're gonna just this one. We're gonna give this to you because it's keyboard in class, so it wasn't a major. It wasn't like math or something like that. So yeah, she sort of let me slide in that class only because, like I say, it was like I say, I was not grasping the covered keys concept. So yeah, I appreciate her for doing that there. Um, the my I had my world history teacher. Um, Actually, the funny thing is, she looked a lot like Casey there. Um, and I actually had kind of a crush on her, but yeah, like I say, I did respect my boundaries there because, like, and then plus she was married, Mrs. Yeah, had the Mrs. on her name there, and even if she wasn't, still, grown woman. I'm 14. Yeah, she was pretty young looking for. I don't know exactly how old she was. Uh, not not her, but but I mean, she say look, I would say probably like late 20s or something there, but anyway, maybe early 30s possibly, but yeah, but like I say, I did have to respect my boundaries there. And my gym teacher really helped me out a lot with the bullies I was encountering in gym class. Now, not saying that all the kids were like that. I did have a few that were pretty cool with me. The journalism club, they was real cool with me. There were a few kids in gym class, like my ping pong rival. We all, her and me always played ping pong together. Um, yeah, there was that. I also used to pretend like whenever I went to, eat my lunch in the cafeteria, that I was at the crust. I pretended I was at the Krusty Krab ordering a Krabby Patty. Yeah, and also you probably may have seen this short before, but during high school, because of the fact that me and Case were role playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I did have my a crush on Taya from the show. So I actually imagined her as my actual girlfriend during that time. Um, so yeah, let's see, it was all of that in the ninth grade there, journalism class. I think we even took, and I know each year that I was in, because in 10th and 11th grade, they went from a journalism club to an actual class. Each year, starting with the ninth grade, we did have the journalism would have a field trip there to, like, I think this university, Northwestern University, to kind of explore it and everything and explore their journalism class. So, yeah, that was actually pretty fun. And let's see what else. Also, when I got to the 10th grade, let's say, I think not much with 10th and I think, well, I know things did get a little better with with the students and everything. With the students and everything. There was still a few bullies there, but it wasn't nowhere near like it was in the ninth grade there. Um, I remember my 10th grade math teacher actually was real good friends with with Granny, and she had some really long nails. I mean, and somehow she was able to do stuff like write with the chalk on the chalkboard, stuff like that. And I remember I told my granny about this. She was like, "No, okay, no, that can't be her real nails there." So at back to school night, um, she asked her about that, and she said, "Oh, trust me, they're real." So yeah, my granny was like, "What?" I also remember, there were a few times because I actually noticed some students bringing stuffed animals with them to class, and nothing was said to them about it. And keep in mind, this is in high school, but yeah, we had a few of the students who had brought stuffed animals. whipped them to class. And the thing is, some of these students weren't exactly like your quote on nerds there. These were some so which I say you never don't judge a book by its cover. But if you were to go by how some of these guys look, you would probably think like, why is he bringing a stuffed animal? So yeah, so there were a few times like I had these plushies, these Digimon plushies from Dairy Queen, and also the Brownie's old body. A few times I brought them with me to brought them to school with me in my backpack, and even my folks don't even know this. Another thing I used to sneak and do sometimes was wear my Star Trek costume under my school uniform. And when I changed to my gym, like my gym shorts and stuff like that, I'd have to roll the pants up really high to hide them under the gym shorts. Oh boy. So there was sort of like Superman Clark Kent thing there. So, so let's see. Juniors. I do remember we had a Christmas party once with my journalism with the journalism class there at my journalism teacher's house. And I remember funny thing we were singing the 12 Days of Christmas. Like, it was seven swans of milk and six geese a laying. Those the whoever they assigned to say six geese a laying, that he six geese a laying. Yeah, and so yeah, a lot of fun with that there and everything. And I don't think what else was there. Remember, I do remember there was this one time. I think. Oh yeah, okay. Excuse me, lad. Uh, I do remember in the 10th grade when I was in journalism class, I was the only sophomore with a whole bunch of seniors. So when all the seniors graduated, I was the only kid in the classroom with the teacher when it came to journalism class. There, oh boy. So yeah, just be me and the teacher there. So with but then I also do remember. Let's say I think it was from the 11th grade, possibly. Okay, I know I mentioned about the party stuff. Um, the I remember when I got to senior year. That's when I signed up for the daycare class. They had a day as a volunteer daycare instructor, volunteer to sort of be to assist the official adult, employees there. Um, so a lot of the kids in that nurse in that daycare got real attached to me, especially one particular one that called him Mini Me, and another one it was actually my little guy cousin there. So um, so yeah, it was some good times in there and everything. And then of course, like well, on a few field trips with the little kitty with the little tykes there. And then of course the big graduation where we all exited middle school and got ready to go out into our adulthood. And let's say it was at the fairgrounds, obviously there. So yeah, like I said, so yeah, that's pretty much what all I can remember from my school days and everything there. Like I say, held on a pretty long time, but had quite a bit there to jump the dump. So, like what you heard and everything, definitely give a like, share, and subscribe. Uh, Definitely buy available books like Yumiko and Bubblina. And also hit us up on just like you hang out with us in the live stream, hit us up on that Patreon. Uh, just like oh yeah, also hit us up on that Patreon. Um, just like Ice Man Universe, who I'm currently watching episodes from. Be sure to check out what he got there. And also, they also definitely our miracle crew and everything. Be sure to definitely support all each of us there. So, without further ado, I think that's it. What I got to say for now. I'm getting really tired again there. So, I will see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody.